Okay, very good afternoon, my dear friends. So, in the hot summer, hectic schedule, midday, eminent botanist, Tara College Sangareddy, autonomous eminent botany professor, very dedicated personality, Dr.O.Padmaja Madam Garu, today's our eminent resource person, will going to explain about the plant physiology area. It is the heart of the botany and also all competitive exams, my dear friends. In this regard, we would like to invite our resource person, Dr.O.Padmaja Madam Garu. Please share your screen and start your session. Please welcome, Madam.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Is it audible, sir?
Yeah,
okay.
It's audible and visible. Clear.
Okay,
welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. And a very good afternoon to Sunday and all Tirupati sir and all the competitive aspirants, those who are going to going to achieve their jobs and the higher education. All the best for all the students. And I'm continuing my topic. Thank you, students. Is it visible? Okay. Very good afternoon. Today, myself, Dr. Padmaja, Assistant Professor of Botany, Tara Degree College, Sangareddy. Today, I am going to discuss a very interesting topic of plant nutrients. This is, at the same time, it is related to our subject and it is also be helpful in our GK related to science. So, our today's topic consisting of mineral nutrition and essential elements in plant growth and development. In that essential elements, they are of macronutrients. And what are the macronutrients and how are they helping their role in the plant growth and development? And what are the symptoms if the deficiency are there? And micronutrients, their role and the deficiency in the plant growth. And last conclusion. So before entering into our topic, we will discuss about the mineral nutrition. That means what is meant by nutrition? The taking of their food materials in their daily life is known as the nutrition. For ourselves also, from morning to evening, we are having our lunch process, breakfast, and whatever may be for our survival or for our growth. Like this, the plants is also very, very essential for its from the seed to very big plants. These nutrients play a very important role, and where these nutrients are present and how they are taken by the plants, we no doubt these are present in the soil itself. They are taken by the plants, by their roots. So these nutrients, if you see, the physiological role of minerals in plants is called the mineral nutrients. Mineral nutrients which are helpful for the growth and development. So these nutrients are helpful for the plants from the starting from the seed to their seedlings and the development from the vegetative to the flowering stage and total metabolic process. These minerals are playing a very, very essential role. So they are called as the essential elements or the essential minerals. So a total of 17 elements are essential for the plant growth. Overall, there are 40 elements are there. In that, mainly these 17 elements are very, very essential for the plant growth and helpful for the development of green plants. According to an experiment done by the Arnold and Stout, they said that in 1939 how these minerals are helpful for the plant growth, and if the mineral deficiency is there, what are the symptoms we are going to see in the life cycle of a plant. These are studied by this. And a deficiency of the essential nutrient makes it impossible for the plant to complete the vegetative and the reproductive stages of its life cycle. So if you take the life cycle of a plant, they may be from a zygote to the embryo stages, from the embryos to the development of vegetative stage, then the reproductive process. In this total phase, the nutrients plays a very, very important role for a successful life of a plant. And such deficiency is specific to the elements and can be prevented or corrected only by supplying these elements. If we see that if any symptoms are seen in the plants, we must be recognized, and that symptoms may be given or supplement may be given to the plants for their growth. So elements is involved directly in the nutrition of the plant or from its possible effect in correcting from unfavorable microbiological and chemical process. Like these minerals plays a very, very important role in the plant growth and development. And if you see that depending upon their intake, that means more amount of intake, if the large amount of intake is taken by the plants, that are considered as the macronutrients. If the plant requires a very, very small amount for its undergoing the metabolic activities, growth and development, if the intake is less, than called as the micronutrients. And these are the different elements are seen here. These are the abbreviation forms, and they are macronutrients and the micronutrients. If you see that carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, calcium, magnesium. And these are the macronutrients which are taken in large quantity for the survival of the plants, for the growth and development of the plants. So they are called as the macronutrients. And if the intake of the plant is very small quantity, they are considered as the micronutrients. They are iron, manganese, copper, zinc, molybdenum, boron, chlorine, and nickel. If the intake is very small, but their role is playing a very important role in the plants. And if you see the classification of these essential plant nutrients, totally they are 17 nutrients are very, very essential for the plant growth and development, and all to undergo a number of metabolic activities like respiration, photosynthesis, absorption of water and the mineral nutrients, translocation of solutes, and ascent of sap, all these process, and the transpiration and the closing and opening of the stomata. All these are directly or indirectly, these nutrients playing a very, very important role. And they are differentiated as framework elements. That means they are taken from the atmosphere or the water. They are carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and oxygen. They are considered as the framework elements. They are very, very essential. The protoplasm and in the cell wall, these constituents are very, very essential. These carbohydrates, they are made up of the carbohydrates are all present in the cell wall of the plants. And mineral nutrients, taking of their quantity, they are considered as the macro and micronutrients. In this macro, again, they are divided into primary nutrients and the secondary nutrients. Primary nutrients means they are taken as the more amount, and secondary are just like a medium when compared to the primary nutrients. They are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And here, secondary nutrients are calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. And if the less intake is there, they are considered as the micronutrients. They are called as zinc, copper, manganese, iron, boron, molybdenum, chlorine, and nickel. These are the important micronutrients. They are helpful for the plant growth. So here the in order to study the role of the plant nutrients, And first they did a experiment. Nowadays also, in order to do research work related to the nutrients role in the plants, what we will do is we will dry the leaves of the plants and make it ash, and from the ash we can estimate the how much amount of nutrients are present in that uh, ash product. So like this, the plant ash reveals the presence of 40 elements. In these, only the 17 elements are very, very essential. They are considered as the essential elements for the growth of plants and the development of the plants and the vegetative and the flowering stages. So essential elements may be grouped as major elements, or they are also called as macronutrients. And depending upon, they are again of primary and the secondary. And micronutrients are also called as the trace elements, because a little amount is required for the plant growth and development. Based on the requirement, they are differentiated. So before what are these macronutrients, and what is the role of macronutrients in the plants? If the deficiency is there of macronutrients, what are the symptoms we are going to see? So the elements required in large amount from the plant's constituents are called as the macronutrients. They are of different types: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. They are not the mineral elements in the true sense, but have included because these elements from the composition of all organic compounds present in the plants. So if you take, if you see the biomass of a plant, this biomass consisting of the carbohydrates, proteins, and the fats, these are all made up of these nutrients. So thus these plants have a role in the general metabolism of the plant itself. Now, if you see, depending upon each and every one, by reading overall the topic, we won't find any difficulty. But when we this bits in under the bits, if it is come, it will be in order to which one is correct one related to that answer, it will be difficult. So we have to concentrate on the each and every element, what is the deficiency and what is the role of these elements in the plants. So if you take the nitrogen, you all know more amount of atmosphere consisting of nitrogen. Even though amount of nitrogen is present, in order to break the triple bond, more amount of energy is essential. So the plants is not in a condition to take the nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. So by the atmospheric nitrogen fixation or the biological nitrogen fixation, it fixes the nitrogen into nitrates or the ammonia. By this nitrogen fixing bacteria like rhizobium and the blue-green algae, which is due to the presence of the heterocyst, they have the capacity to convert this nitrogen to nitrates and the ammonia. So nitrogen is an essential constituents of the proteins, nucleic acids, that RNA and DNAs, and vitamins, and many other organic molecules like the ATP and ATP. You already know that during that photophosphorylation, this combination of ADP plus PI phosphate giving helpful for the ATP, since ATP formation will also be taking place. So like this, the formation of these organic molecules is also taken by this intake of this nitrogen, and a chlorophyll also. So is a very, very important in order to undergo a main metabolic process, that is photosynthesis. The photosynthesis is the only life process taking place in the plants. So this chloroplast, it contains the number of pigments that are present in the grana. These are helpful for the protein light reaction and the dark reaction. So for the constituents of the chlorophyll, the nitrogen plays a very, very important role. Just you imagine that the chlorophyll production is not there. There won't be any photosynthesis. There won't be any plants in the universe. So the total human will be won't get any food from the plants. So nitrogen forms a constituent of various hormones, coenzymes, and the ATP. Just if the ATP, if the nitrogen deficiency is there, that means the intake of nitrogen is not there by the plants. If the less quantity is taking, so what are the symptoms we are seeing in the plant? Means if the nitrogen is less, the intake of nitrogen is intake is very, very less, then there won't be any photosynthesis, there won't be any plant growth, As a result, they will be stunted growth we are seeing. That means there won't be development of any proteins. You all know that every body is made up of proteins and amino acids. There won't be any production of this protein building substance. So the growth will be stunted. And the chlorosis, here the yellowing of the leaves will be taking place. If the chlorophyll is not produced, the yellowing of the leaves are seen, and these are latter, they will be they will be even fall due to this lack of photosynthesis. This chlorosis is seen on the plants. We first of all, they thought that the chlorosis is a type of a disease, but it is not the disease, but it is due to the deficiency of these nutrients. This yellowing of leaves are seen in the plants. And reduction in the flowering. If the plant growth is stunted, there won't be any hormone. The production of hormones will be affected. As a result, this flowering will also be affected. Like this, the fruiting will also be affected. So excessive coloring in apple and peach, and reduction in the fruit size also. This is the total, the fruit size will also be increasing. That means that the plant is not having a capacity to produce a healthy yielding. So the fruit size or the fruit commercial value will be also will be decreases, and increase in the decrease in the protein content. They're not having any production of the proteins. So the and the plant growth will be affected, and the pigmentation, there won't be any chlorophyll formation won't be there. As a result, yellowing is seen here, and these are the some of the effects due to this nitrogen. And next one is the phosphorus. So it is present in the plasma membrane, a number of nucleic acids, nucleotides, and the DNAs are made up of these polynucleotides. The composition of phosphorus is very, very essential, and many coenzymes and the organic molecules are also produced by this phosphorus. So it plays an important role in energy metabolism. That means here this ATP production will also be taking place. This ATP is considered as the energy currency. This production of these are also helpful for the energy metabolism. And phosphorus promotes healthy growth, root growth, and the fruit ripening. If the deficiency is there, the root growth will be affected, and the reduction in the root growth, and at the same time fruit ripening will also be affected. And here, what are the deficiency symptoms? So loss of old leaves, and reduction in the growth, increase in the phosphatase enzyme activity. This enzyme, the phosphatase enzyme will also show the declinity of the action. And potassium. Potassium is required in the meristematic regions and the region of cell differentiation. You will already seen that the meristematic activity having the capacity to cell divides. The division capacity will be affected, and the cell differentiation is also be affected. That means there won't be any organ formation will be seen here. And accumulation in the older leaves, through it does not have a structural role. It involves in the stomatal opening and the closing of this potassium plays a very, very important role in the turgor pressure, in increasing of the turgor pressure, and the closing and opening of the guard cells by this movement of this potassium. And it is an activator of many enzymes, as a role in protein and carbohydrate metabolism. And what are the deficiency symptoms of this potassium? So mainly these root tips, that leaf tips, the blade, the leaf blade or the leaf lamina will be affected, and even they are curving downwards. The leaves, or the curling of the leaves, will be taking place towards the down, and causes the chlorosis. The chlorophyll pigments will be affected, and the leaves are becoming yellow in color, and totally the leaves are turning downwards, and even they fall. That means the mobilization of this potassium from the older leaves to the younger leaves. movement will also be taking place. So development of chlorosis at tips and the margin of the leaves. That means totally first of all the tips will be becoming yellow in color. Later the lamina will be becoming yellow in color, and even the veins will also be affected by this chlorosis due to the deficiency of the potassium. And shortening of internodes, I think, but the growth will be affected. And sulfur. Sulfur is a constituent of certain vitamins such as thiamine and the biotin. These the bit they are going to ask that which mineral is present in vitamins like thiamine and biotin. And it is a constituent of coenzyme A, playing an important role in respiration. That in Krebs cycle, here the pyruvic acid is converted into coenzyme A, then only they take part in the Krebs cycle. So this is the formation of this coenzyme is also affected if the sulfur is the constituent of the coenzyme. So it playing an important role in the respiration. And it is also present in many amino acids like cysteine and methionine also. And they are also constituent of some sulfur containing amino acid is the cysteine and methionine. This is also an important bit we can. And deficiency, that means here the protein synthesis is not inhibiting, and the younger leaves show the chlorosis first. So like these will be the affecting due to the deficiency of the sulfur. And magnesium. So magnesium is a constituent of chlorophyll molecules which cannot be formed without magnesium. So without magnesium, the chlorophyll formation will also be affected, and nitrogen will also play important role, and it has a vital role in carbohydrate metabolism and binding the ribosomal subunits. That means they are helpful in the protein synthesis also, and binding these ribosome subunits like 70S and in 80S types of ribosomes, the subunits are also binding this magnesium. And magnesium is the activator of many enzymes involved in DNA and RNA synthesis. That means if these ribosomes are part of the protein synthesis, so this protein synthesis is also affected, and it acts as a phosphorus carrier and activates enzymes such as PEP carboxylase and RUBP carboxylase. This is a very, very important proteins, enzymes that are seen in the C3 cycle. And this will be affected if the main process is in plants is the photosynthesis. If all the enzymes on all these will affected, if the intake of these nutrients is there, so this will be show a tremendous effect in the plant's growth and the development. So if we see the symptoms, intervenal chlorosis taking place, that means here the chlorophyll formation is affected. As a result, there will be a yellowing color of the leaves will be seen, and even the leaf veins, the main axis and the lateral veins are also becoming the yellowing. So it is called as intervenal chlorosis. And this is due to the deficiency of the magnesium, this type of symptoms we are seeing. And there is a formation of anthocyanin pigments and taking place of chlorosis. That means the destruction of the chlorophyll molecule will be taking place. The necrotic spots means the cells are becoming dead. This type of spots are seen on the leaves due to these deficiency symptoms. But first of all, they thought they may be due to some viral disease or the bacterial disease, but this is the deficiency of the minerals. And calcium. Calcium forms an important constituent of cell wall. If the difference between, if you see the plant cell and animal cell, the animal cell is not having the cell wall, but in a plant cell, the cell wall is present. So the cell wall is made up of primary, secondary, and the middle lamella. The middle lamella constitutes the calcium peptides, and it is an important role in the formation of plasma membrane. And calcium play a role in mitotic cell division. That means these spindle fibers are also helpful by this calcium helpful in the formation of spindle fibers. As a result, the mitotic cell division is taking place, and is the constituent of enzymes like phospholipase and adenyl kinase, which is an activators. And what are the symptoms? What are the deficiency symptoms? If the calcium is less in the plants, what we'll see the deficiency symptoms means affects the carbohydrates metabolism, and the process of respiration is badly affected as the number of mitochondria decreases. And if as the number will be decreases, this will affect the respiration, and meristematic tissue are affected, and leaf and the root tips die. That means the growing place is known as meristem cells. If the meristem cells are affected in the root and the shoot, there won't be growth, so it will be leads to the death. That means of the cell division have to take place, and the cells have to develops into a new this elongation and cell division, and this give rise to the new plants. If the cell wall calcium is less, there won't be any middle lamella formation, and there won't be any meristematic tissue formation. As a result, the shoot and the shoot will be die, and the plant will be affected, and cell wall may become brittle or rizard. That means there won't be any proper intake of the calcium, so they will be very fragile like that. That type will be seen if the deficiency of the calcium is seen in the soil. And these are the micronutrients. If the intake is very, very small amount and forms the plant constituents, so that is called as the micronutrients. So there are different types of micronutrients are there. They are, first one is the iron. Iron is generally not a deficient in iron is a constituent of various flavoproteins and forms a part of enzymes such as catalases, peroxidases, and cytochromes. These are all will see the enzymes in the light reaction. That photophosphorylation, cyclic photophosphorylation, non-cyclic photophosphorylation, these are the electron carriers. We are during the formation of ATP and NADPH, if the intake of iron is less, the formation of these electron carriers will be affected. And deficiency causes interveinal chlorosis, and leaves become yellow or white in color, and impairs aerobic respiration and related process. That means the electron carriers will be taking place. As a result of these electron carriers, these electron transports are taking place, and this due to this electron transport system, the energy currency ATP are forming. If these deficiency are seen, they will be impairs the aerobic respiration. The fruit trees particularly show sensitivity to iron. And the boron. The boron is a very important micronutrient, and the leaves and seeds require boron very much, and it is necessary for uptake and utilization of calcium ion, and pollen germination. For the pollen germination also, boron is very, very essential. And cell differentiation and translocation of carbohydrates. If see, the cell have to differentiate in order to forming the organs. So these play a very important role, and the translocation of solutes of the carbohydrates. You all know that by the photosynthesis, carbohydrates are prepared. These carbohydrates are prepared in the plants, in the leaves. So from the leaves, they have to transport it to different parts of the plant. That means from the source to the sink. So for this translocation of these carbohydrates or the food material that is formed in the leaves, these boron plays a very, very important role in the movement of food materials from the leaves to other parts of the plant. That may be the roots, that may be the birds, that may be the fruits and the flowers. And it plays a role in nitrogen metabolism, hormone, and fat metabolism. If the deficiency symptoms, what are the deficiency symptoms? If the boron is less in the soil, it causes brown heart rot disease in beetroots. In apple, internal tissue become corky, and causes leaf to curl and become brittle. The leaves will be very, they're curling, and they will be very, very short and very thick like structures. And a premature fall of the fruits. Here, without entering into the ripened condition, in a younger condition only, the fruits are falling. That means here the movement of, whenever the movement of food materials are affected, these premature fall of the fruits will be very seen. One time they asked the bit that the pollen germination by which nutrients is affected means boron, and the translocation of carbohydrates is by the boron. And the next one is the manganese. Manganese is required by leaves and the seeds. It is an activator of enzymes like carboxylases, oxidases, dehydrogenases, and the kinases. These are all the enzymes are activated. Without these enzymes, there won't be any metabolic process taking place during that photosynthesis or respiration. So in order to activate this, these playing a very, very important role. And even for the splitting of the water molecules, also these are playing a very important role in a light reaction. And the deficiency symptoms. This causes a gray spot disease in oats, and pure development of root system will be seen here, and the intervenal chlorosis also be deficiency of this manganese. And now is the copper. So copper forms a component of enzymes such as phenolases and triosinases. So copper being a constituent of plastocyanine play a role in photophosphorylation. The copper is the constituent of plastocyanine, electron carrier present in the photophosphorylation, that is in the light reaction. And the copper maintains the carbohydrates and nitrogen balance also. And what are the deficiency symptoms? If this copper is seen in the soil or in the plants, causes a dieback shoot, especially in the citrus, and disease called exanthema causes the yield of gums on the bark. That means sometimes the oozing of the gums are also seen on the plants. So that is called as exanthema. And a reclamation disease is caused in plants growing on newly reclaimed soil where seed formation is affected. And zinc. So zinc is involved in the synthesis of indole 3 acetic acid, that is auxins, and activating the enzyme tryptophan synthase. And it also play a role in protein synthesis. It acts as an activator of many other enzymes such as carbonic anhydrase, alcohol dehydrogenase, exokinase. These are the enzymes activated by this zinc, and causes distortion of the growth. The growth will also be affected if the intake of the zinc is less. And leaves become very small and rosette, called as little leaf diseases. Here, sometimes the leaf lamina will not becoming a very broad. They will be very, very small in size, and even they appear like a rosette type. All these leaves are aggregated to form look like a rose-like structure, and due to this shrinkage of this leaf lamina and a little leaf disease type of seen, and intervenal chlorosis and stunted growth of stems is also be seen. If this, that means some that one or two mineral nutrients are also causing the same effect. And the molybdenum is a very important one. Molybdenum has a important role in metabolism of nitrogen, and if it affects the synthesis of ascorbic acid, the vitamin C. It activates the enzyme involved in nitrogen metabolism also. And here the deficiency symptoms, it leads to molting and wilting of leaves at the margin, causes yellow spot disease. That means here the leaves, the wilting of the leaves will be taking place, or even the leaf margin will be bending, and this type, and even the yellow color spots are also seen. These are on the citrus, and the whiptail disease are also seen in plants. And next, if by the conclusion, this what will be these plants will be affected means, first of all, these nutrients play a very important role in the total plant history or for the growth of the plants. and what are they what are the helpful in the constituents of different enzymes, or they may be a constituents of cell wall, or they may be helpful for the stomatal closing or opening of the stomatal, and they may be the constituent of some enzymes, or they may be helpful for the number of metabolic activities like photosynthesis, respiration, nitrogen metabolism, and the translocation of the solutes, or the intake of the nutrients, intake of the water and the mineral nutrients. These are nutrients play a very important role in the plant survival and the sustainable growth of the plants. So plant nutrition has a critical role in maintaining all vital process in plants. If any deficiency will be there, that will be affected as a symptoms on the plants. So various nutrients elements present in associated with enzymes. These elements are also associated with different types of enzymes. They are associated with amino acids. They are helpful in the production of proteins, and they are also associated as the activators of different enzymes and electron carriers also. They help in proper working and metabolic process. If any elements is deficiency, the total metabolic activities will be affected. That means the life process like photosynthesis, respiration, nitrogen metabolism, translocation of solutes, and the absorption of water. These are all the process or metabolic activities will be affected if the intake is affected. So similarly, such elements have role in aiding plants to withstand stressful environment. Even they plants have the capacity to overcome or to face that stress conditions in the environment. Diseases and internal toxic compounds. If we are affected any diseases, we will go and consult a doctor. But these plants is not having they are a sedentary. They are not moving from one place to another place. So they will itself internal mechanism will be there in order to overcome the diseases. And internal toxic compounds. If any toxic compounds also will be there, some in some plants such a mechanism is there. They will keep some toxic substance in the plants when any herbivores like eating plants, or when we go on eating, they are not eating that plants because they are rejecting the plants to eat. That means such type of mechanism is also developed by the some plants in order to control the grazing by the herbivores. And a proper amount of each nutrient is cardinal below the threshold. That means this much of amount is essential for a plant growth, for every element. If beyond that or less also, that may be affect the plant growth and development, and also the symptoms will be shown, and if that maybe leads to the death of the plant also. So same in the case with the overdose of the nutrients also. So thus a proper soil management is very, very essential. So before entering into the crop, for a good yielding, we have to first test the soil. So testing the soil is very essential. We have to all the nutrients are in a good condition, and whatever the supplements are there, that will be essential. So for example, if some plants are there, they for example, if you take the teak plants, these teak plants are luxuriantly growing in Sangareddy districts, but that the soil is very, very suitable for that plants. So first of all, we have to take that soil management is very essential, and should be taken to optimize the nutritional profile for crops. That in turn will result in the crop improvement. If the soil management we are not taking any, they will be affect the total crop improvements. So nowadays, the students are also collecting the different types of soils. They are studying the nutrients levels, and after only they are also helping the farmers. That means this soil is very suitable for these crop plants. So this is a very, very essential before entering into that seedling process. And further mutual attempts among the plant biologists, ecologists, and molecular biologists and agronomists are required to improve the crop production and sustain soil fertility. If the soil fertility is there, then only the crop will be in a good condition, yielding will be good, and the result will be good and will be commercially useful. There won't be any loss for the farmers or any members. So these nutrients play a very, very important role. Without knowing the soil profile or without knowing the soil management, if we invest more amount, also there won't be any use. So these nutrients plays a very important role in the plant growth. And these nutrients related to nutrients, we can expect one question from this point. Thank you, students. If any doubts, you can ask me. Oh, okay. Very fast I am going. Students,
No, madam.
okay, okay. Lahari, if any doubts means you can ask me, but you can expect one question from this. You are preparing for higher education or for the job? అంటే పీజీ ఎంట్రన్స్ కోసం అమ్మ, లేదు అనుకుంటే గవర్నమెంట్ జాబ్ JL to DL or గురుకుల వాటిక?
Ma'am, I'm pursuing first year PG. Okay.
First year?
PG first year.
Okay, okay. Okay, but you can expect one question from this.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.